monster will kill you for a single energy, be careful! Golisopod, you've never seen a card that hits so hard. When you go up against me, I tear apart every single one of your goddamn cards. Ha! Every basic, better face it, even evolutions get erased. And yeah, that with one energy, cause my by my side, what more do I need? Beating competition in a turn or three. When I evolve my Wimpot, you see, yeah, get the impression, I smell the regression of battling me, it's my profession. Go Golisopod, use first impression, every day of the week I battle to perfection. Watch my videos and follow my crazy obsession. Yeah, started from the bottom, from winter all the way to autumn, making deck analysis and making sure they were awesome. Now let's check Golisopod because it really looks solid. Yeah, it really does. Welcome to episode 126, Golisopod GX. Rate, comment, and subscribe. What's up YouTube, it's TG here and welcome to episode 126. First up, be sure to subscribe to the channel for more great TCG content like this if you haven't already. Alright, this video is all about Golisopod GX from the new Burning Shadow set being released on August 5th and all the cards that work well with this wonderful card. Okay, let us begin. First, we see that Golisopod GX is a stage 1 grass type of 210 HP, which is slightly above the average for a stage 1 GX. It's weak to fire, which is not good since the Volcanion archetype deck is still going strong. So, not the best weakness in the world. It does have the advantage of being a grass type, which means we can evolve straight from the bat with Forest of Giant Plants. Although that stadium card is most likely to be rotated out of the format starting in September. Another great thing is that we are grass, so we hit for weakness against things like Lycanroc GX, Lapras GX, Greninja, and many more in the current format. That's at least comfortable information right there. It has a 3 retreat cost, which is quite a lot and is not easy to get out of the active position. So switch, Floatstone, or even better, the new Guzma is definitely a must. For those of you that don't know what Guzma does, it's basically a switch and a Lysander in a blender. It means we have the option, we actually have to switch our active Pokemon with one of our bench Pokemon, and then we can target something on the opponent's bench and make it their new active Pokemon. Quite useful indeed because its first attack pairs really well with that attack, but more on that in a second. Having a 3 retreat cost also means that we can make use of Heavy Ball, which has to get a mention here. Really nice to get out your Golisopod in one shot. Okay, now to the attack. First impression deals 30 damage for a single grass energy, which is quite decent because that alone destroys Froakies and Rockruffs, which is always nice for a single energy. Another thing here is the side effect of this attack. If this Pokemon was on your bench and it became your active Pokemon this turn, we deal 120 damage instead. Holy macaroni, that is a lot for a single attachment. And trust me, with Guzma as the main combo here, we will most likely deal that damage turn after turn. Also, Floatstone might help us out here, but be careful of the Field Blower in the format. And thinking about other tool cards, Choice Band is probably the better choice in this situation. With that, we deal 150 damage for a single energy if we get the necessary side effect going on, if we switch to the active position and we were on the bench. And then with the combination of the Lurantis promo card I'm gonna talk about later, we can add that damage up even further. So that will definitely get it to a top tier deck because getting one shots with a single energy just doesn't get any better than that. Its second attack, Armor Press, deals straight up 100 damage for a grass and a DCE, and during your opponent's turn this Pokemon takes 20 less damage from attacks. So kind of a defensive wall with that attack and might come in handy in certain situations where you want to prevent a certain knockout. Now to the GX attack, which is kind of underwhelming in my opinion. There are way better GX attacks in the format already. This attack only deals 150 damage and then we have to switch this Pokemon with one of our bench Pokemon. With a Choice Band, of course, we get the 180 number, but we usually tend to get a one-hit KO regardless of a tool card with a GX move. Kind of similar to the ability Emergency Exit, the GX move, because we have to switch out, which in theory comes out really well with the first impression attack. So we'll definitely get a one-hit KO if we get that Choice Band on there, so not the worst GX move ever, but yeah, it's not one of the best ones either, so it's kind of average. So this card already proves itself worthy enough on its own, but we do have some great partners for Golisopod. First up, of course, is the Lurantis promo card with the ability Sunny Day, which lets you deal 20 more damage with your grass types and fire types, if you happen to run fire with this deck as well, but this will be straightly for the grass types. We deal 20 more damage with our grass types for every Lurantis promo card we can get out. Let's say we get out 2 of these bad boys, then we deal 160 damage for a single energy with the first attack, first impression, if we get the necessary side effect going on. And with Choice Band, we even hit that magical 190 damage, enough to knock out the biggest tanks out there, like Turtonator GX, which has a huge amount of HP. So this is awesome. Add in Professor Kukui and we can even go overboard and yeah, going for the overkill right there. So indeed, an awesome combo right there. This deck will be huge. I will definitely say it right here. The Lurantis GX, however, can also be an ideal card for energy acceleration or recovery with Flower Supply. We can attach 2 basic energies from the discard pile, which of course helps in the early game as well as in the late game. So if we yeah, run the Sunny Day promo card, maybe add in 1 GX as well, since it'll definitely come in handy. Also, talking about this, we can actually run 4 Sunny Day promo Lurantis together with 4 GX of Lurantis. Just to get that out there, it's a different name, which means we are not limited to just 4. We can just run 4 Lurantis promo cards and then the rest is up to you. Talking about more non-GX and GX split, we also have a regular Golisopod from Guardians Rising, which is also a nice option. It deals 80 damage for a grass and a DCE, but yeah, which is just the same attack cost like the GX, so why not run it? And if the opponent's Pokemon is an EX or GX, with that attack we deal 150 damage instead. The good thing about this attack is that with Choice Band we definitely get those one-hit KOs perfectly. As a bonus, the ability Armor that it has reduces all damage done to it by your opponents by 30, so which means it might even survive the craziest attacks out of nowhere with that added bulk. And also, giving up 1 prize cards is definitely something to consider here, because yeah, with that your opponent might be driven into a situation where they have to go for the 7 prize trade, where you have all GXs and only 1 regular Pokemon that attacks, and then yeah, they still have to get 2 prize cards if you know that drill. So definitely test it out in this Golisopod GX deck. Next card I'd like to talk about is the Probo Tapu Coco. This card has proven itself already in an awesome amount of tournaments already, but here is also really great because we do run DCE, so we definitely want to run this. It has free retreat as a bonus, so it pairs really well with the first impression of Golisopod. Well, we just stall a bit with Tapu Coco, and the attack Flying Flip is what it's all about. We deal 20 damage to everything on the opponent's side. Great to spread damage early game or to get some cheap KOs in the late game or mid game. As a nice bonus, as mentioned, it has free retreat. Definitely run it. Oranguru is also a great card, also runs on DCE. The ability Instruct actually lets you draw cards until you have 3 in the hand every single turn. So yeah, with Guzma, we don't have to be afraid of this card being stuck in the active position, and drawing cards while you get ends in the late game is definitely a great option. That way you ensure that you always have cards in the hand, unless they use Hex Maniac, of course. Another card I like to talk about is Tapu Bulu. I've talked about it before. Tapu Bulu with Vikavolt is really strong, but Tapu Bulu is just one of those cards that just needs a single energy to get going, and it does not have a single weakness. This card might help you out quite a bit against a Volcanion matchup since it doesn't have any weakness, and it also gets one-hit KOs if you happen to get energies on there. If you run Tapu Bulu, definitely add in some Max Elixirs because Tapu Bulu is kind of slow and it does not get itself started. As a bonus, it also has a 3 retreat cost, so with Heavy Ball you're fine. Of course, Tapu Lele has to be in this deck as well, just to get out your Guzma at the right time. With the Wonder Attack ability, we can search our deck for the supporter of choice, and that way we can get our consistency going turn after turn. Getting your first turn Bridget to get yourself Fomantises or Wimpod on the field, getting your Sycamore for consistency, or just re-winning a game with N. so definitely Tapu Lele is, yeah, 2 or 3 copies, definitely. Special Charge is also neat to recover your DCEs and Max Potion, and that can actually be your trump card to heal off when the opponent isn't expecting it. With 1 energy attack that wrecks everything in our pad, we don't have to be worrisome that we don't have energies to attack. We only need 1, so with the Max Potion, we heal off all the damage and then strike out of nowhere. If you run Lurantis GX, definitely run maybe 1 Max Potion, because Lurantis GX can recover your energies if need be. Some Ultra Balls, VS Seeker and N are always great in a deck. That definitely boost your consistency and definitely put them in this deck as well. Floatstone is a great option here as your tool card, but of course the switching card, regular switch, yeah, old school style, it might be even better to switch around your active. That way we still have room for our tool card, which is Choice Band. Field Blower, of course, is in every main deck, maybe 1 or 2 copies. I am not certain about the number just yet, but Field Blower gets rid of tool cards and stadium cards, so yeah, definitely run that card. Acerola, also a new awesome supporter card that gets released. Just to reuse this with Tapu Lele GX, if your Tapu Lele GX gets attacked and has damage, we can use Wonder Attack again by using Acerola, which might just be awesome in certain situations, but even better is to get your Golisopod GX out of the active position and replacing it by promoting a new Golisopod GX, benching your Wimpod, and you can just go in circles like this, which is great. Revitalizer is definitely the recover card of choice to get yourself 2 grass types from the discard. If you prefer, yeah, Rescue Stretcher because, yeah, it's fancy and it's a full art, or just want to get your Tapu Leles back from the discard, then run Rescue Stretcher instead. Hex Maniac might be needed in a deck like this because Volcanion actually eats you up. Almost an auto loss, not a favorable matchup, so keeping them in check by locking off their abilities might definitely be something to think about. Also other decks, like you can shut down the Water Shurikens of Greninja, you can shut down opposing Wonder Attacks of the opponent. Yeah, it's just so great. Maybe a Hex Maniac gets a worthy place in this deck. And that's about it. I might have forgotten a few cards here and there, but this is actually the core of the deck. If you happen to have greater combos with Golisopod GX, definitely put them in the comment section below. I'm always open for your ideas and your opinions. It's a simple deck. It gets going quite fast and it hits really hard together with Lurantis promo, so yeah, you get those huge KOs just for a single energy. Again, with Guzma, we have a perfect synergy right there. And that's about it for another card/deck analysis. Now let's head on to Poké-News, the section where I talk about all the new releases and everything you need to know about the Pokemon trading card game and a competitive insight. Okay. Mysterious Power Tins. So as you know, every fall we have the tins. Right now we have the Summer Tins, the Guardians Islands Tins, which is the Tapu Bulu Tin and Tapu Coco Tin. In fall, in October, we will definitely get ourselves some new tins, which will be released on the 20th of October. Which GXs will be featured? That is the main question I hear a lot. Well, these are Ho-Oh GX, Necrozma GX, and Marshadow GX. So 3 really playable GXs that also come in the Burning Shadow set. So getting your hands on some playable GXs for the the upcoming decks that you want to make, this is a great place to do it. Wait until October, and out of nowhere you get yourself really great playable tins. But then again, the set releases in August, so if you want to play test with them, maybe make some proxies, and if you want to play a tournament with them, you'll have to run the regular copies. Next up on the list, we have the images of Espeon and Umbreon GX Premium Collections. So as you see, these are really awesome. They come with a coin, which is definitely something I like here. Also a pin of the resembles Pokemon on the box card. Here we have the Umbreon. Really great here about the Umbreon is really playable, and Espeon as well. So if you want to make a deck with, like, let's say you want to make Garbodor Espeon GX, well, get yourself an Espeon GX really easy. It has an alternate art than in the actual set of the Sun and Moon, and it comes with great packs like Guardians Rising, Sun and Moon. So yeah, you cannot go wrong with these awesome products. They get released pretty soon on the 14th of July, so that's in about 3 weeks. Okay, next up, there is a set coming out that is will be featuring Shining Legendaries. So several Shining Legendaries will get featured in this set. They come with really great playable, legendary Pokemon, and this will be great if they make their way to the overseas, to the English release, to the Western audience. So what is in a set like this? I'm gonna talk about the most interesting cards first. Damage Remover. This is one of the cards, the item cards I like most. Move 3 damage counters from one of your Pokemon to another one of your Pokemon. So this is a great strategy combo here with Tauros GX to get yourself a Mad Bull GX out of nowhere. Yeah, I'm just saying, use 2 of those and bang, out of nowhere you get that. Also, to get damage on your bench, to use Berserk of the Drampa GX. Of course, a great combo like this. Other combos might be possible, but Damage Remover, a great card. Hopefully we'll see it in the English release as well. Warp Energy, get a reprint. Warp Energy provides a cardless energy, but when you attach it from your hand to your active Pokemon, you may switch that Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon. So another way of switching around while attaching an energy. So interesting to see here. It got reprinted a couple of times, but yeah, I've seen the old school ones with the e-reader style cards go for a lot of money nowadays. So get your hands on Warp Energy while you can. We have Pokemon Breeder, draw 2 cards, then heal 20 damage of your active. Ugh, not good at all. Next up, Masked Royale. Attach a basic energy card from your hand to one of your stage 2, grass, fire, or water. Okay, so the starter types, you can attach a basic energy from your hand to one of your stage 2. So definitely promoting the starter types here. Maybe other Pokemon might get released, but great. Also comes as a full art. We have Shining Rayquaza, deals 40 damage, but you have to discard the top 2 cards for the first attack. And also Sky's Judgment, 190 damage, and you have to discard 3 energies from this Pokemon. Might be nice and expanded to pair it up with the Electric, just saying. Or maybe, yeah, that is definitely a great combo here. 190 damage is a lot for Pokemon that only gives up 1 prize. We have Shining Lugia, which deals 130 damage, discard 1 energy from this Pokemon with his second attack. Also his first attack deals 60 damage, and if your opponent has a active Pokemon has an ability, you deal 120 damage instead. So really great cards, and I'm rambling on because these cards look really amazing. They are shinies, and I'll definitely try to get my hands on them once they come out as an English release. We have a Spiritomb. If this Pokemon is your active Pokemon, the defending Pokemon cannot retreat. Great way to stop Golisopod, but then again, they will use item cards, of course, to switch around. Also with his attack, put 3 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon in any way you like. Yeah, not the best card ever. Okay, next up we have, there's more cards, but I'm gonna talk about the most interesting ones, of course. We have Keldeo, which lets you attach a actually put 1 water Pokemon from your discard pile into your hand. Recovery for water types. Also the Determined Horn deals 20 damage plus 20 more for each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Might be fun as a water type because yeah, most of the times your opponent has a lot of bench Pokemon, and yeah, why not even run a nice little shiny legendary right there. Okay, next up we have Reshiram. Got reprinted a bazillion times in the black and white era. This is a reprint. Or actually, is it? Let me just recheck that, because this card has 3 retreat cost, and I don't know if the older ones, I do think they have only 2 retreat costs, which means we won't be able to use the older copies. Let me just check that really quickly. A little patience here, guys. Yeah, the older copy has 2 retreat costs, which means we cannot reuse the older copies. Yeah, that is stated here. So it does have the older attacks, it does not even have Blue Flare, so it is resemblant because its first attack is Outrage, its second attack deals 130 damage, and it cannot attack next turn with that attack. So yeah, a new Reshiram card, cool. Next up, Ante GX. This is definitely not one of the best. It deals 50 damage for its first attack and 100 damage with its second attack, while with an additional burn. Brave Blitz deals 150 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So sniping is great with this card, but it's not the best GX out there. Also weak to water, will get destroyed by a lot of water decks like Ninetales, Lapras, and so forth. Next up, Shaymin. Shaymin has always been great in the trading card game, got a lot of love from Pokemon, and this time around it has the flap. Shuffle your hand into your deck, then draw 6 cards, resembling to the Eek all the way back in Heart Gold Soul Silver with Cleffa. This is yeah, a great recovery attack, but yeah, then again, you have to use your attack of the turn, and it also only has 70 HP, which will get destroyed by almost everything. Its second attack deals 30 damage if this Pokemon was, or if one of your Pokemon got knocked out during your last turn of the opponent. This attack deals 90 more damage, so a revenge attack, seen it a lot of times before. 120 damage, not a bad number here. So definitely since you hit for weakness against certain things. If you run grass, maybe run this for some consistency purposes. And next up I'm gonna talk about, Celebi, Shiny Celebi here. This is one of the cards I like most. It has an ability Time Recall. As this Pokemon, if this Pokemon is in play, each of your evolved Pokemon can still use their attacks of their previous evolutions. You still need the necessary energies to attack though, but yeah, there are so many doors opening right now because you can use all the attacks of the previous evolutions. So let's say you have an awesome GX, but the GX moves don't really do much. You can use the older attacks from the pre-evolution. So definitely we'll see some play. Celebi, also a lovely artwork, love the card so much. Okay, to finish off Poké-News, we have 2 scans of GXs coming here, and then of course the last section on my list is about a new set coming really soon in Japan. The next set. Okay, first up, Mewtwo GX from the Sun and Moon 3 Plus expansion. Okay, this is an awesome card. It looks really awesome. Just look at this card. You definitely want to have one in your binder. Is it playable though? That is the main question. Well, it has 30 damage for its first attack for every, the total, actually let's rephrase that. This attack does 30 damage times the amount of energy attached to this Pokemon. So, pretty much like the EX Mewtwo, but yeah, for a single energy you can start smacking some damage here. Super Absorption deals 60 damage and then heals 30 damage. Definitely not a great attack. It heals 30 damage, that is great, but yeah, just so underwhelming that attack. Psycho Break GX deals 200 damage flat. This attack isn't affected by any effects on the opponent's Pokemon, so Jolteon EX, don't bother, you go straight through him. This is kind of neat, also things like Safeguard Pokemon, you hit right through them. So the Psycho Break attack, kind of neat, but it's a Psychic Pokemon. So Mewtwo GX is also weak to Psychic, so Garbodor actually eats it alive. I'm not pretty sure about the card, but the artwork is definitely a great nevertheless. Next up, Zoroark GX, another one of those popular Pokemon that got a lot of love from Pokemon. We have Zoroark GX. Its ability Exchange. Once during your turn, you may discard 1 card from your hand. If you do, draw 2 cards. Wow, really great card. Why is this? You always have consistency. Let's say you have garbage in the hand, throw away 1 card, draw 2 more. So with that, you can definitely hit yourself a VS Seeker or Supporter, and you get yourself going once again. This card will see a lot of play, maybe in synergy with the regular Zoroark, and will definitely win a lot of tournaments because with its first attack, you do 20 damage times the for each Pokemon you have in play. So let's say you have 6 Pokemon in play, you deal 120 damage. With a Choice Band, 150. With a Professor Kukui, 170. So definitely force to be reckoned with here. The Trickster GX for 2 Darkness. Choose one of your opponent's attacks and use it as this attack. Great to copy the moves, and you cannot use more than 1 GX attack per game. So I don't know how the ruling with this card will be, but I do think you can copy GX attacks, but I'm not too sure about that. This is definitely a great card. I definitely wanted to mention it here in this episode. And also, resistance to Psychic, always need with Garbodor crashing around here and there. Last thing on the episode is the Sun and Moon 4 Plus expansion Battle Boost set, which will get revealed pretty soon, and that set will contain some interesting cards like, I'm gonna mention it right here. The Ultra Beasts are coming to the trading card game. Will they have a new mechanic? I hope so, because Ultra Beasts will bring so much freshness into the game. We have things like Ferromaza, we have Xurkitree, Celesteela, a lot of Pokemon I cannot even pronounce correctly because they're Ultra Beasts. They have really hard names to pronounce. And that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it a lot. If you did, definitely show your support by destroying the like button. You know I always appreciate that. And let me guys know what you think about the Poké-News section and about Golisopod GX or Golisopod or whatever you want to pronounce this awesome card. Let me know in the comment section. I'll be here to discuss with you guys as always. And definitely subscribe to the channel if you haven't already for more great videos like this. Every Wednesday there's an episode. What do you get? You get a wrap, you get a card/deck analysis, and you get Poké-News. So why wouldn't you want to subscribe if you're playing competitively? Anyway, this was Zapdos TCG here. I'm signing out. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys soon enough with more TCG videos. Peace.